Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
What is the total price of $10,000 car plus 6.1% sales tax? There's two ways to do this. Who can tell me one way? What do you do?
I just realized the first part. I'm bad at these. Then use 6.1 times
10,000.
10,000 plus 10,000.
Yeah, so whatever 6.1% is of 10,000, that's what you're going to add to 10,000. Okay, so how do you find 6.1% of 10,000? Well, percents are useless in math. So we're going to multiply by either a fraction. So you could just do 6.1 times 10,000 divided by 100. Or you could go 0.061 times 10,000. Well, 10,000 is just moving the decimal over 4 places, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to give you 610, right? So that's not your final price. That's how much tax you have to pay. So how do you calculate your final price? You add it. So $10,610. You guys okay with that? Does that feel okay? 6.1, that's kind of an annoying tax rate, right? So you just have to multiply, but luckily you're multiplying by 10,000, so that made it easier because multiplying by 10,000 is just moving a decimal. Okay, number 2. Discount audio store, advertiser collection, 3 compact discs. So let's write that down, 3 discs for $64.61. So what is the cost of each disc? So I want to know what one disc costs. So what do we do? Yeah, so really you just, if you want to just reduce this to a fraction, so you divide both the top and bottom by 13. So let's see, how many times does 13 go into 64? Let's see, well, let's just do it. 64, 61 divided by 13. I think that goes in not 5 times, but 4 times. And you get 52. So then you get 12 left over, bring down the 6. That probably goes in at least 9 times. Okay. All right, and that goes in 7. So remember, the decimal goes straight up. So $4.97. Okay, is that what you guys got? Awesome. So far, so good? All right, number 3, the ratio. Ooh, ratio, I'm going to do tic-tac-toe. The ratio of slugs to snails. So I'm going to say slugs to snails was 4-7. Okay, you guys remember doing this? Tic-tac-toe makes it real easy. It already sets up your ratio and part of your proportion. So now it says 330 in all. Well, what's this bottom row here? Yeah, Adeline?
Total.
So what's it going to be in the ratio column?
4 plus 7.
Yep,
Okay.
11, good. So where's the 330 go? Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Good job. 330 represents both of them in all, right? So that's not snails, that's not slugs, that's both of them together. So that goes right there. And then what is it asking for here? How many slugs? So this is what we want to know. So can you guys see the proportion? You see the really big chubby fish? It's not really chubby fish, it's a tall fish. One of those really tall.
It's a sunfish.
Okay, so look, I'm going to get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. So here's my fish method. Bloop. Okay? If you want, see how big that fish is? One of those tall ones. So you could, this is actually, what is that, 30? 11 times 30 equals 330, so 4 times 30 is 120. But you could have just multiplied 330 times 4, and then divide by 11, and you'll get 120. I promise. Okay? You guys good with that? All right. Number 4. What is the average? Oh, okay. I'm not afraid of you. So how do you find the average of 4 numbers? Yeah, so we have to do that, and they're fractions, but whatever. We can do that. So 3 3/10 plus 3 plus 4.5 plus 1 1/5, all divided by 4. Okay, well, let's not worry about that 4 yet. Let's add these together first. Well, what's the common denominator of tenths, halves, and fifths? Adeline? 10. So this needs to be multiplied by 5, right? Whatever you do the bottom, do the top. This needs to be multiplied by 2. So let's rewrite our problem here. So we got 3 3/10. Let's just add them all together, like 4 5/10. And 1 2/10, all plus 3. Does that feel all right?
Yeah.
Can I write it like that? Okay, what happens when you add these together? Ooh. You get 8 10/10. What's 8 10/10? Kiara? 9. So this adds up to 9. So 9 plus 3, all divided by 4. What's 12 divided by 4? 3. So the average is 3. Nice, that works. Everybody okay with that? So you're adding fractions, but you're not really adding fractions. Well, you did add fractions, but you don't have to divide by fractions or anything because you end up with a nice number like that. Okay, number 5. What number is 18% of 350? So let's just translate that into math, because English is important, but math is important too. So how do you say what number in math? Adeline, do you know?
N.
Yeah, so that's what you're looking for. So you can say, and how do you say is? Equals. How do you say 18% in math? Okay, but remember, if I want to write a math problem, percents are useless. So I have to change that percent to either a decimal or a fraction. What do you want to do?
0.18.
Yeah, 0.18. That's 18%. So this is how you say 18% in math. 0.18. Okay? All right.
Hi, your brother wants to know if he can borrow the board spray because, like, you're cleaning board spray.
Yes. Oh. What's he gonna do for me?
You're younger, so.
Yeah, can you ask him? You can borrow this as long as I can borrow his hairspray. Can you say that, please?
Okay.
Don't fail me. Okay. How do you say of?
Multiply.
Okay. And how do you say 350? 350. All right, now we just have to multiply a decimal times 350. Can you guys handle that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. 350 times 0.18. Okay, where's the decimal go? Yeah, so add the total number of decimal places are just 2. So blip, blip, 63 is 18% of 350, which makes sense. 18% is more than 10%, but like less than a quarter, right? 25% is a quarter. So 60 something is less than a quarter of 350. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, moving on. Number 6. Read the following statement, then answer the questions that follow. Joel gave 3/4 of his sports car to his brother. Okay? So you could draw a little diagram here if you wanted to. If it's 3/4, let's see, it's about right there, right? So if it's 228 cards altogether, and 3/4, you could figure out how many 3/4 is of 228, right? You know how to do that? It's like 57. No, it's not 57. 3/4, 57 times 3. What's 57 times 3? Yep.
I don't have an answer, but that looks more like 2/3.
Yeah, you're right. But you get the idea. It doesn't have to be exact. It's nice. Okay, so here's 1/4, here's 3/4. The 1/4 would be 57. Okay, so that is, 1/4, 57 cards. So 3 of those would be 171 cards. Okay. So now we've kind of done the math already. So now we just have to answer the questions. Okay. What percent of his sports cars did Joel give to his brother? Okay. So this is what he gave. So 1/4 is just 25%, right? And then B, how many sports cards did Joel have left? Well, if he gave away 3/4, he has 57 cards left. Now, you can draw a diagram and do it that way, or you can do what I like to do is translate. So if I say Joel gave, so 3/4 of his 228 cards to his brother. Okay? So if you do this math, you get 57 or 171 equals his brother. Okay, so how do you figure out how many he had left? You subtract. Did I do something wrong?
Yeah, the A and the B is switched. The answers are switched.
Oh,
Like,
give
I
to
think
his
A is
brother.
75%. Yeah, A is 75 and B is 20.
Oh, yeah. How much did he give to his brother? Yeah, 75%.
But A is 75. I got that right.
Okay, good job. All right, so that's a free problem set. I'll give to both of you. Remind me later. Okay, and then 57 cards, that's how many he had left, so just subtract it. You can do this multiple ways. Just do what you're comfortable with and what you're successful with, okay? Can you guys handle this problem? All right. Number 7. Okay, write 2 10,000 in scientific notation. So 2 10,000 is, let's see, 10th, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So that's 2 10,000. Okay. How do you write that in scientific notation? What do you do first? Adeline knows. Anyone else? Hunter, do you know? What do you do first?
You fix it so it's point 2.
From that point to point. So remember, the first step, the psi naught, is not up here. Okay, always put the decimal after the first non-zero digit, so it goes right there. So 2.0 or 2, you can just say 2. And then what? Then what do you do? Adeline, what do you do next?
You move the decimal over, or you times
A power of
10
10.
to the power of negative 3.
Close. 4. Right. So you're going from here
Yeah.
to the left 4 places. So this tells you what direction. So this is you thinking backwards. Okay. So the easiest way I can explain it to you is in 2 steps. Put the decimal after the first non-zero digit, and then multiply by a power of 10 that will return that decimal to where it belongs. Okay. Can you guys handle that?
Yeah.
All right. All right, number 8.
Mr. Flack, you forgot to do B.
Oh. B. Okay, so how do we, this is nice because you just have to follow the directions. So this is going forwards, not, well, you know what I mean. So what happens when you multiply by 10 to the power of negative 2? Where do you move the decimal? Kiara? 2 left. So now it's not, it's 0.071. Everybody okay with that? See how we just moved it 2 places to the left, and that was it. All right, number 8. The measure of C is 100 degrees. That's 100 degrees. Okay, do you think you can figure out what the measure of D is?
100.
Okay, did you say 100?
I was thinking that D was where A was.
Oh, so yeah, A would be 100. What's D?
80.
80, right. So in a parallelogram, these guys are, do you remember the word for those? Starts with an S. They both add up to 180. Starts with an S.
Yeah. Supplementary.
Supplementary, good job. All right, so then all of them are going to add up to 360, right? That's what happens in a quadrilateral. Just like in a triangle, they all add up to 180. In a quadrilateral, they all add up to 360. Okay, so these are going to be supplementary. These are going to be supplementary, but the opposite angles are going to be the same. Can you remember that? And a lot of times in geometry, you just kind of go with your gut. It looks like that would be right, right? So most of the time in geometry, if it looks right, then it is right. Okay, Kiara?
I had a question.
Yes.
In like what shapes of geometry would you like divide the total into half?
So like when you're trying to find the area of a triangle, you cut that in half. So it's like a triangle is like half of a rectangle or a parallelogram. So it's like finding the area of that rectangle, but you don't want the whole rectangle. You want half of it because the triangle is half of it. So you divide it by 2. Or a semicircle. You can find the area of a circle. Remember pi r squared. And then if you want just half of it, then you just divide it by 2. Okay. So what's bigger, 7.5 kilograms or 7,500 grams? What is it? Yara, do you know? They're both equal because how do you change kilograms to grams?
Remove the decimal places, 2 places.
That's right. So if you don't have this, you can write it down. Okay, these are all the prefixes of the metric system. Now it's either grams, meters, or liters, right? So instead of G's, you could put M's or L's. And it's the same thing. So if you go from kilograms to grams, you go 3 to the right. So we're going to move this 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's 7,500. So your answer is equal. Okay? Can you guys handle that? All right. Number 10. Divide 3 by 0.33 and write the answer rounded to the nearest whole number. Okay. Well, first of all, how do you divide by 0.33? You don't. So what do you do first? Move the decimal, and whatever you do to the divisor, you have to do to the dividend. So this has to go 2 places to the right. So our decimal is going to be after 2 zeros. So there's where the decimal will be in the answer, but it says round to the nearest whole number. So we have to go past the whole number. We have to go one more place past the whole number so we know how to round the whole number. Okay, so let's start dividing. How many times is 33 going to 30? 0. How many times is it going to 300?
9.
Let's try 9.
That was really just a guess.
Yeah, looks right. Did I do that right? Yeah. So subtract. You get 3. All right, bring down the next digit. There's no digit. What do I do?
0.
Okay, how many times is 33 going to 30? 0. So should I just add another 0 and keep going?
No.
No, I actually need that 0 there. Do I have to keep going now?
No,
No, why not?
because it's like a whole number.
Yeah, because I'm rounding to the nearest whole number. So I just have to look at that first digit after the whole number to tell me how to round. So what's my answer going to be?
9.
All right, 9. So this would be 9. If I would have kept going, I would have had another 0, and then I would have been repeating, right?
Yeah.
It would have been 9, and then 0, 9, 0, 9, 0, 9, 0, 9. Okay? Forever. All right? So that's it. Round to the nearest whole number. We're done. We're half done with the test. Take a breath. I didn't say let it out.
Oh.
I guess the breath is the whole process, right? Breathing in and breathing out.
Unless you can hold your breath.
All right, here we go. Second half. Simplify. So we're going to add, let's let these guys fight. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? The negatives win again. Those darn negatives. So if I put the negatives together and the positives together, then the negatives are going to win by 1, right? Everybody okay with that problem? Okay, good. Number 12, complete the table. Don't skip over this. Don't put a stinking question mark. I hate those. Okay, this is worth 4 points. You need to give me the decimal and percent of the first one, and then the fraction and the percent of the second one.
It's my favorite to do.
Okay, so this is probably the hardest one to remember. How do you change a fraction to a decimal? Yeah, you just divide. That's it. So 13 divided by 25. Okay. There's another way to do this, but this works every time. Okay. So add a decimal. Let's see, it goes in 5 times. That goes in 2 times. Okay, so 0.52, right? Okay, so that's 0.52. So what's that in a percent?
52%.
Yep, move it over 2 places to get the percent, 52%. All right, this time we start with 0.4. Let's do the easy one first. What's the easy one? Percent. Move it over 2 places. What is it? 40%. Now, how do you write 40% as a fraction? Bless you. Yes, Addie?
2/5.
All right, so you start with 4 over 10 or 40 over 100, but then you can take a 20 out of both of them, which is what Addie did. She reduced it, and you get 2/5. So if you write 40 over 100 or even 4 over 10, then you're right. Technically, that's a fraction, but you need to write it in reduced form, okay? So don't forget to reduce it or it's half off. So don't skip over that. That's 4 points. That's an important one. Number 13, what's the area? of the parallelogram. How do you find the area of a parallelogram? Multiply what times what? Adeline?
Length times width.
No, well, length is kind of weird, but
Like the,
did you say dippy, dippy, dippy?
yes.
Okay.
You do the bottom times the height.
Yeah, so not the side times the side. That 25 there is there to trick you.
I ignored it.
They're stinkers. That 25 on the side is there to trick you. Don't let it trick you. It's just base times height. That's it. 18 times 23. Did someone have a hand up? Yes?
I was gonna say base times height.
Okay, so base times height. The only way you're going to mess this up is if you don't know what the height is. Okay, if I'm standing like this, I am not standing 6 feet tall, right? I am a 6 foot tall man, but I'm not standing 6 feet tall right now, right? That's not my height. My height is less than that. My arm hurts because I need to work out. Okay, so base times height. Base is 18. Height is 23. What's 18 times 23? Whew. Pain in the butt, right? 230 plus what's 8 times 23? 384. Is that what you guys got? You didn't get that? What'd you get?
414. This is what I got.
You're probably right. I just
That's what I
guessed.
got too.
Okay, good job. Good job. 414. Square centimeters. Good, good. All right, number 14. Home stretch. Here we go. 14 says JK plus J. I'm just going to replace my J's with 5/8 and my K's with 1/2. Everybody okay? What does it mean when J is right next to K? Adeline?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So 5/8 times 1/2 plus J. J was 5/8. And then plus 1/2, right? So what do you do first? Multiply. Don't add those yet. Don't add, especially the 1/2 and 5/8. Just be careful. So this is going to be 5/16, right? Plus 5/8 plus 1/2. So these all need to be added. So what's my common denominator of 16, 8, and 2?
16.
Yeah, so I can double that, multiply that by 8, multiply that by 8. So then this becomes 5/16 plus 10/16 plus 8/16. Okay, now we can add them up. 15 plus 8 is 23/16. And you could probably just leave it like that, or if you wanted to change it back to an improper or a mixed number, you could say 1 and 7/16, right? But that's fine if you leave it like that. Good? All right, number 15. 15 is the fish method. You guys know how to do this? What is it? What do you do? Hunter?
8 times 25 divided by 20.
Yes. Now, there's the other way to do it is to see if 8 goes into 20. It doesn't. That's all right. So just use the fish method. The fish method will work every time. So multiply whatever you can diagonally. See how there's nothing to multiply here, but there is something to multiply here, and then just divide by the other number that you didn't touch yet. Okay? 200 divided by 20 is 10. Okay, everybody good with that? That's nice. All right, moving on. 16, 5 more. What fraction have we completed? fraction of the problems that we completed?
You're asking me. 127.
No. What fraction of the problems have we completed? 3/4. That's right. What is the ratio of problems completed to problems not completed?
We're already doing that. 15 to 12.
15 to 5 or 3 to 1? Yep. Good. All right. So number 16 says 2.7p equals 0.216. So how do we figure out what p is? You should ask a scientist. They can tell you what exactly it is. Don't ask me. But how do we figure out what this p is? Yes, Adeline.
You multiply.
Well, it is multiplying.
Oh, I mean by, sorry.
Yep, so we're going to divide by p. Nope, don't divide by p. That stings. But divide by 2.7. Okay, so how do you divide by 2.7? You can't, right? So you got to move that decimal over one place, and you can do it right here. Look at that. You can do it right there. So you can go 27 into 2.16. So how many times is that? It doesn't go into 21. So maybe 8 times. Let's see if 8 times. So it doesn't go into 21, so I have to put a 0 there. But it goes into 216 maybe 8 times. Yep. So 0.08. So P equals 0.08. Who knew? All right, number 17. So far, so good? Number 17. Okay, order of operations. What do we do first? Yes, don't touch anything else. You know what's really tempting, but what's really wrong is to do what? Can you guys see what the average 6th grader would do in this problem? What would the average 6th grader do in this problem? Adeline?
They would go from this way to this way.
Yeah, they could do that. Crazy 6th graders. Okay. Can you guys see a potential mistake that you could make here?
Doing it backwards.
All right, well, let's go through it and let's see if we don't make the mistake. What do you do first? What, Adeline?
Parentheses and
Yeah, so there's parentheses inside of parentheses. What's 6 minus 2? What does it mean when the 2 is right next to a parenthesis? Multiply. So this is 2 times 4, still inside this bracket. All right, does anyone see the potential mistake yet? What's the potential mistake?
They do the subtraction before the
Yes,
multiplication.
don't subtract 27 minus 2. Classic 6th grader action right there. Okay? Do not do that because that 2 is being multiplied by something. That needs to be multiplied first before you subtract. What's 2 times 4? 8, good. All right, so then you got 27 minus 2 right next to a bracket. You can leave that bracket there if you want, or just say 2 times 8. Yeah, Hunter?
16.
All right, so that's 16 right there. So then you have 27 minus 16, which is 11. Okay? So don't make this mistake. If you make that mistake on your test, I will think bad thoughts about you. Not like evil thoughts, but just bad thoughts.
What do you count as an evil thought?
I don't know, like evil.
That's great. It's just that.
Nothing serious, just like cutting off your fingers or something. Okay. No, I would never cut off your fingers.
You definitely would.
You think I would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Then you make the noise that you do when you kill numbers with a red pen.
I would never cut off your fingers. That's gross.
Like you cut off our toes.
even though they're great on salads, but I would never do it. Okay?
Oh, wow.
All right, number 18. Okay, parentheses first. So 2 and a fourth plus, let's get common denominators right away. What's our common denominator? 20, right? So 5 and 9/20 minus 4 and what is that? 16/20. Okay, everyone okay with that first step that I did? Just got a common denominator. What's the problem here?
It looks mathy.
It looks mathy. Okay, what's the problem? Why can't I subtract these right now?
16 from 9.
Yeah, so what do you have to do? Okay, so you're gonna add a whole number. So in 20ths language, what's a whole number? How many 20ths is a whole? 20 20ths, so you're gonna add 20 to that. So this is 29 20ths. Everybody okay with that? You don't have to do it this way. You could change this to improper fraction. So that's 109 20ths. And then you don't have to worry about that garbage. 29 20ths minus 96 20ths equals what you're going for anyway, right? So then this is going to be 4 minus 4. The 4's get 0. Then I'm just left with 29 minus 16, which is 13 20ths. Okay, now what?
Wait, I have to think.
All right, Adeline.
You find the common denominator.
Common denominator. So times 5 times 5, right? So this is 2 and 5/20 plus 13/20 is 2 and 18/20. Is that what you guys got? Are you done? Can you go on to the next one? Why not?
You need to reduce.
Reduce. Okay, what goes into both of those?
4.
2. So you get 2 and 9/10. Does that work?
Yeah.
2 more. I don't know if I can do it. Can I do it?
No.
Let's do it.
We must prevail.
We must. 19. So we got, that's a division sign. Make sure you read the problem correctly. So how do you divide fractions? So whenever I see multiplication and division in a problem and I see mixed numbers, they don't mix. Right? So change mixed numbers to improper fractions. Mixed numbers are dumb, so get rid of them. So 12/1 divided by 4/3. How do you divide fractions? You don't. You do what? What do you do?
Copy dot flop.
Copy dot flop. Okay. So 12/1 dot 3/4. Everyone okay with that? Now, now we can cross reduce all across the board. So what reduces? There's only a couple things, which is kind of a bummer.
Make sure you use your red pen.
I got it.
Okay, good.
I'm ready. You guys, so Hunter, what reduces?
12 and 4.
All right, what does it reduce to?
3 and 1.
Yep. Okay, do you guys want to make the noise?
No.
No noise? You guys are less brutal than me. Oh, why? Yeah, a little why there. It's like, why would you do that? I'm just an innocent 4. But, you know, when it comes to cross reducing, can't think about that. Just got to do it. Okay, anything else? I don't think so. 7 times 9 is 63 over 5, and you're done. So you can leave it like that, or you can say 12 and 3/5. That's it. It's not bad, right? Okay, don't make any mistakes. It's easy to make mistakes. Especially when you've got more than one math problem happening in a math problem.
Don't you have to reduce it to an improper fraction?
2 things are wrong with that. first thing that's wrong is it's already an improper fraction. You meant mixed number,
Yeah.
but reducing does not mean make it a mixed number. Okay, reducing just means taking out common factors. You can, if you want, you can say 12 and 3/5. But see how 12 and 3/5 is already reduced. So we're not reducing it. If you want to change it to a mixed number, you can, but don't erase
I
that
meant
just
to
in
say
case.
like change it to a mixed number.
Yeah. So you can, just don't erase that. You can change it because if for some reason you do it wrong and I see that right, I'll still mark it right. So you might brain fart that and say 11 and 3/5 instead of 12 and 3/5. Okay? So be careful. Number 20. So we're just multiplying a bunch of decimals, which on the surface seems pretty easy, but you got to keep track of how many decimal places you're multiplying, because that's how many you put in your answer. Okay, can you guys do this? What is that? So if I just multiply 36 times 24, here's what happens. So I'm just ignoring the decimals for now. And I'm just going to multiply 36 times 24. Do you guys see that? See if you ignore the decimals, that's what you're multiplying. 36 times 24, let's do it. 44, 12, 7, 864. Now, where's the decimal go? Yeah, do you know?
1 in front of the 8.
Yep, it's in front of the 8 because look, there's 3 decimal places total, so that's going to go over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So there got to be 3 decimal places in your answer. So there's your answer. How's that feel?
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting, but we're done.